question?
Yes. Hello. Now we have Keerthana Krishna with us. She's a software engineer at Nangulam.
Okay, little self-introduction. Hi, I'm Keerthana. I work at Baker Hughes here in Ernakulam. Baker Hughes is the oil and gas division. Uh, we have majority. Baker Hughes a GE company, so we have majority stake owned by GE. So I work in a really cool domain where I work on software that monitors oil wells and stuff like that. I'm working on web development for my job, and I'm here to answer questions that Vidya has.
Okay, fine. How did you come into this industry?
So when I was in 8th standard, so when I started high school, I joined a school called Model Technical High Secondary School, and that school had electronics, computer science, all those special subjects since 9th standard. So I knew, I don't remember when exactly my career path sort of started, but I knew pretty much even before high school that I wanted to work with technology. So I can't give you a particular day, but just being in a school and being in engineering college and all that, just it's always been in my mind. What do you want to be? An engineer. Just that's it.
Okay, nice. Is it your dreams job?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, what are the career opportunities for this job?
So, well, I can't tell you that there is like a different variety of career options, but I think engineering itself is a fundamental skill that every human being has. Now, what does an engineer do? They look at problems and they look at how to solve a problem, right? So that's why you see people who've taken their bachelor's engineering degree go on to do business, go on to do law, go on to do every single thing because it's just a mindset. There is problem A. How can I solve it? That's the basic mindset of an engineer. Now, following the specific track record that I have, I started off in the electronics and computer science field, and then I
Okay.
went through my BTech, and I wanted to be a software engineer. So, in software engineering specifically, you have different varieties. So, I am in web development, which means whenever you open up your browser in Chrome or Firefox and you see a website, somebody like me built that. You have Android or mobile developers, people who make all the apps that you see on your phone. You have back-end developers, so people who work on servers. You have people who work on machine learning, so every single data that is generated, big data is put through a lot of algorithms, and you extract information and apply that to use cases. You have DevOps. DevOps is like development operations. They manage like the day-to-day administrative parts of a server, I think, that's the easiest way I can put it. So whenever you want to check out code, commit code, all the things that you want sysadmin to do.
Okay. What is your typical
That
day
those are
of
the main
work?
ones. Yep, you said yes. Say
Oh, I
typical day of
like.
work.
Okay. I like to know about your a typical day of work. I mean
Yeah.
routines and all.
Ha. Routine. Okay. So mine should not be a benchmark because different people have different things. Like I know software engineers who have their typical 9 to 5 job, and then for fun they go and climb mountains. They bike in the road and all that. I'm much more boring, I'm afraid. My typical day is 9 to 5. I have my job where I work on software. After that, in the evening again, I might spend 1 hour more on learning
Oh,
something technology related. Um, I like watching TV series. That's one of my hobbies. Um, then I have other hobbies that I try to keep a balanced life. So just hang out with friends and all that. That happens to me in a typical day. Now, typically from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm on my job. Yeah.
Okay, nice. What is the selection process for this particular software engineering job?
Okay. So my particular job was a bit different because I got selected as an intern for Baker Hughes when I just got out of college. Um, from my understanding, that was pretty rare, and only two people got selected like that in my company, and we are a product company. So just so I understand and I give a difference, there are two types of IT companies in India. We have a service company and a product company. A service company is a company where you provide a service to your client. For example, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, or if you're major league, mass recruiter, IT companies are all service providers. So, your client has a need, and the service company gives software developers to code and fix. Where I work in a product company. So my company has a product. We have a product called as Baker Hughes Production Link. It's a software that monitors oil wells. So I go in 9 to 6 every day. I work on a single software which does a particular job. So that since I work on a product, I work for a product company. Now, product companies usually hire people who are a bit more experienced. I had some experience with an internship with Google previously to come into my company. Um, so typically, what you do for any interview process, not just for entry level, in a product company, you will have multiple levels. So first, when they put out a position that's open, you'll have like one round technical, maybe 2 rounds technical. Then you'll definitely have like a phone interview where somebody from the team that you're going to work in will call, talk to you, give you technical requirements, see how you're at, and then there'll be an HR round. For a service provider company like TCS service company, since they hire a lot of people, we have a much smaller team than what they have. For them, they will actually have a interview process where you have like a written test and all that. This is at the entry level again. Your written test, which you have to score a minimum level in, because there's a large number of people. You can't interview every single person. So all the people who clear that minimum bar again go through rounds of interview, and finally you have an HR round. So basically, rounds of interview about your technical knowledge.
Okay, fine. What are the soft skills that one need to get a job? What are the minimum soft skills?
Okay, it's a good question. So one thing I would tell people is that do not think of a skill as soft, because think about it. In India today, there are definitely at least more than 1 million people passing out of engineering college every year, if not more. I don't have an exact statistic, but I know for sure it's more than 1 million. If there are 1 million people going out of college with the same exact certification as you, what do you have that separates you from them? So that is where your other external skills other than engineering comes to play. Unless you are somebody with great technical skills, and let's face it, when you're getting out of college, you don't have the benefit of experience. You just have the theoretical knowledge that you've learned. The skills that really do make a difference are learning how to talk to an interviewer, learning how to document, um, just having the skill to communicate yourself is very big. And communication can be written into four parts. You can speak, you can listen, you can read, and you can write. And so in a group discussion, they check, one of the things they check is how much you listen and how much you can speak, right? And in an interview, they'll see how much you can listen and how much you can speak. So these are very, very important parts of every single recruitment process. So If you are a very good candidate, very technically brilliant, but if when you are given a problem, you cannot talk with your team, you cannot understand how this problem can be solved by speaking to the person before you or speaking to the team members with you, then that it is very difficult for you to be in the industry without that. Now, it might seem on the outset that software engineers all do our work separately, but no, every single software engineer I know, they work in a team. They have usually have 4 or 5 people, and so you have a team lead whom you report to. You have team members who have worked on features similar to you. So when you get a task to do, and if you're stuck somewhere, you need to be able to communicate with people around you. You need to be able to communicate with your lead. And I would say, arguably, more than technical skill, because if you look at the technology these days, Java, for example, they release a new version every 2 years. See, really, any good software engineering tool or programming language improves on itself and keep releasing versions. The one main thing that you need to have is your ability to communicate. If you have that, your technical skill can be improved over time. Make sure that you improve both of your skills together.
Okay. That is teamwork is an important thing, right?
Yes,
Okay, fine. You done your internship, one of your internship at Debian as a web developer. So can
yes.
you share some experience about that internship? What was about that? Is it your first internship?
That was my third internship actually. Um,
Okay, okay. Mm.
so my first two internships were very low key. So it's the glamorous internship I got because everybody sees Google. So that was a remote internship. So I did all my work at home. Um, I think it was not really that much eventful as I think, because I learned a lot of skills. So when I was working with, when I was contributing to Debian, I learned how to send emails, how to keep people updated. I won't talk about the technical part because this happened in 2016, and I think a lot of the tools that I used then are depreciated now. There are probably better versions, especially of JavaScript that released after that. So that's not important. The thing I remember most is the community, since I contributed to an open source um, project, the community, and understanding how people are contributing to such a large project, that makes a difference, you know. So I had a very great experience with it really helped me understand how software engineering works and how you become part of a team. Um, so basically, I had about 4 months. I worked on a few features that I had predefined in my proposal. Um, I had a mentor. She was from Brazil. I kept in contact with her every 3 to 4 days. I learned a lot, technically and otherwise. I also got an opportunity to speak at the Debian International Conference. Um, and I got to meet so many different people. So it was a great learning experience for me.
Okay. Internship is important for you?
I would say yes, because I don't know if it's compulsory, but having an internship makes a difference. Gives you real world experience, and it helps you understand, is this what I want to do? Because if you're in an internship for 6 months and you realize, I don't like this, I don't want to do this, then you can stop. It's not a problem. If you leave an internship early. But if you start a job as a software developer and after 4 months you realize, I don't like this, and you quit, that's a very bad mark on your resume. And that has happened to a couple of my batchmates who they started off their career and they realize, this is not the job I want, this is not the career I want. And software engineering is not for everybody. Just because you took a BTech does not mean you have to be a software engineer. There are different people who take different masters and go on to do different things. So I think internship is good for both you, because You understand how your workplace works, and it's also good for the employer because they understand what kind of a person you are and if you're a right fit for the team. So it's win-win.
Okay. You done many projects on till now. So, what was your favorite? What is your favorite project that solve a real life issue or issue or something?
Project. Actually, I've not done as many projects code-wise. If you look at it as you think, I did maybe like four or five. Um I know a lot more people who've done a lot more. If you look at it as just code, I think my Google Summer of Code internship is definitely my favorite project because it helped me learn a lot. Now, since you only mentioned project, I'm a volunteer with IEEE, so I do a lot of things for them as well. And my favorite project that I did with IEEE and my most cherished memory that I have is we had a project where we reached out to a few girls who were they were in shelter home, so they were children who were at risk, and I got to go in two times to the same facility, speak to a bunch of ladies. These were young teenagers between 13 and 18, and I got to talk to them about safe usages of the internet. How can you use the internet safely? What is email? You know, how can you be impacted by internet? And I was so surprised by the amount of knowledge that they had about the internet and how curious they were. So I'd like to say that if you want to contribute in the technology field, sometimes writing code is not the only way that you can contribute. You know, if you talk to people who are junior than you, who want mentorship, that is contribution. If you talk to somebody who, for example, I was a mentor for a couple of people who were very new to web development, and I connected them with resources on how they can do a project. It took me merely 3 hours of my time for 2 weeks for this, but it made such a big impact for their lives. So, um, and another thing is I helped in documenting some code for Debian um, when I was doing my internship. Now, that was not code, but you can write the best code in the world. If people don't understand how to use your code, it's still useless lines of text written inside a file. Documenting your code makes it much more easier. So if you look at the a lot of um, internships that they have these days, especially things like outreachy, right? You will see that, of course, code is one part, one of the types of internship that they support, but documentation, creating technology related art, you know, all that are different levels to which you can contribute to the technical ecosystem, and I consider all of them as projects.
Okay. Now we are suffering time management as a problem. That is, we can't manage the academics and other things. So I like to know that how you manage your time with all these things.
Oh, I'm the last person you should ask on that. I'm really bad at time management myself. If my mother were here, she would laugh right now. I'm so bad at it. um,
Oh,
Couple of things that I've noticed that really helped me is that I always keep a calendar on my phone, and so if I have really something important, like 8 o'clock today, for example, is in my calendar. Google Calendar really helps me like keep all the important stuff so that I don't forget any deadlines. Um, I'm a serial procrastinator. If I can procrastinate something, I do it. That's how I work. So, um, and I tell myself like if you ask me, I'll tell you I work best under pressure. So if there's a deadline of 5 hours before deadline is when I'm the most productive. So I'm really the last person should be given time management advice. But use a calendar. That's very important. Only one thing.
okay. You're a good speaker, right? I hear you're many speaking on YouTube channel and all.
Oh my god.
Is is about force and front end development something. Um, is speaking your passion?
Yes, speaking is my passion. Um, so I've been speaking for a long time since I can remember again. I've been speaking in public probably before middle school. You know, I was one of those kids. If you remember your school days, there's like one kid in the entire classroom when the English teacher wants to have recitation competition. She's like, you go to recitation. I was that kid in my class. So there's always one child who was trapped in that situation. I enjoy being that. But yes, definitely it's after my internship with again all of this comes back to my internship with Devian. So in that internship, I got a chance to go and speak publicly with a bunch of Debian developers about the project I was doing, and I got some great feedback. So people told me, um, that especially in technical conferences, they don't really have people who look like me. I am a person of colors. I'm not white, and I'm female, and they have very low percentage of women speakers, even lower percentage of women speakers who are not white in most technical conferences worldwide. So I got a lot of feedback from people saying that you're definitely young, keep working at it, keep working at it, you will improve. So I took that to heart, and over the past about 3 to 4 years, I've been trying to. I can't do more than one or two big opportunities in a year, but thankfully, I'm just doing this slowly, step by step, and I'm getting. There are definitely things I have to improve. Definitely things that every single time I finish up a speech, I play back the tape and I think, oh my god, why did I do that? Why did I say that word? Oh my god, I look like an idiot. Hello? Yeah. So I'm gonna assume that you're still there. There are parts of the speech where I really don't like, which I really have to improve, but I make sure that I put in an effort to improve what I have, what I have, what I have. And finally, I'm at a place where I think I'm better, but I hope in the future I can improve a lot more. Because, yes, speaking is something I enjoy doing, especially on technical topics. I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you.